Notice your whole body and notice what's happening around your body right now. It can be very helpful to tune into the environment around us and to notice if it's okay, if there's any danger at all in the environment around us. Especially if we're feeling fearful or anxious about something, or maybe not even about something. We're just having that energy in our body, in our mind. There might be thoughts, there might not be. So let's start by noticing if there's any immediate danger. Do you need to be activating fight, flight, freeze right in this moment? And most of the time, that sense of anxiety or where the fear is being generated is internal, not external. There's not usually an external threat. So it can be just helpful to notice that so that we could reassure ourselves in that sense that there's nothing immediately going on right now in the next 20 minutes or so that I need to be attending to. And notice the feeling inside your body from head to toes. We always bring whatever it is that's been going on with us, we bring it into our practice. So if there's been a lot of calmness, we'll bring that in. If there's been a lot of anxiety, we'll bring that in. Whatever it is that we start off with, it's always good to do a practice of relaxing and looking, breathing. This way that we have of tending to ourselves, we turn inwards and we see what's really happening. And we also work with these anchors that we have. Our breath is certainly an anchor, and the relaxation through our body is one. So bring your attention to your whole body from head to toes. And in particular, notice how solid and here our bodies are. The body is the most material, the most solid of the different layers of energy and mind. The body is the solid one. You could rub your hands together or clasp your hands and notice the warmth in your palms. If your feet are on the floor, you could notice the way that you're connected to the ground. Even if you're in a building, at some point the building rests on the ground. And the earth is very stable. It's massive, especially compared to our body. The earth is reliable. We can stand on the earth. We can walk on the earth. It holds us up. Gravity holds us to the earth. And visualize yourself connecting with the earth through the soles of your feet. We're firmly attached. And notice when you're paying attention to your body from head to toes if there's a feeling or a sense of contraction or tightness anywhere. Most of us have at least some contraction or tension in our body. And when we turn our mind to that, when we're really looking at that, we can see it tends to gather in certain places. We have habitual places where we store our own tension. And there are some places that are very common for most of us. So as we go through those places, notice which one is your favorite, so to speak, where you tend to have more contraction. And then as you're doing the practice and also as you're moving through the day, make that an anchor point for yourself. We have our soles of our feet grounding us into the earth. And we also have this place where we store most of our tension. If we bring our attention there, then we can allow that to soften. For a lot of people, it's the forehead and eyebrows. There might be quite a whirl going on in the thinking right behind the forehead. Let your eyebrows settle from the center out to the temples. Let them soften. Our physical system relaxes as we breathe out. So notice that as you're breathing out, that the forehead softens a little bit more easily. As you breathe in, really focus on that. As you breathe out, let it soften more. And notice the content of the thoughts as well as the rhythm and pattern of them, kind of the energetic feel to them. Sometimes if there's a lot of anxiety, the thoughts are coming very quickly. They have a lot of charge to them. Our body gets tight, our breath gets short. So notice what's happening with your thoughts and focus your attention mostly on softening the muscles of the forehead and the eyebrows. Noticing there's air flowing over the membranes of the nose. Notice what that feels like. And part of what feeds anxious energy in the mind and the thought stream is when we're paying attention to it. And part of what calms it is if we focus on softening and relaxing and on letting the breath be a bit longer. Notice the flow and rhythm of your breath. It's very anchoring and stabilizing for the mind to have a continuous breath. So just as you're finishing the end of your exhalation, let yourself move smoothly into the inhale. Right as soon as you've had a nice full in-breath, let go, let your breath release into the out-breath. Feel your whole body settle. Try to let your inhale and out-breath be about the same length, without any pauses or breaks in the breath. Notice the flow of air. Keep your attention focused very sharply and keenly on the breath. And then keeping your breath a little bit in your attention, move your focus now to your mouth and your jaw, your vocal cords, the tongue, the lips, the whole mechanism of speech. And it's helpful sometimes to move the lower jaw back and forth. Make sure that you're not clenching your teeth. But even if the teeth aren't grinding together, sometimes there can be a lot of tightness through the hinges of the jaw. Because this is related to speech, it could be related to things that we're holding in, things we're not saying. So let your jaw relax on a muscular level, muscles, ligaments, as well as on a more energetic level, the level of speech. Keep an eye on the thoughts. Allow the thoughts to be more focused on the direct experience of relaxing. and on that rhythm of the breath. Use those to stabilize the mind. And notice the forehead, the eyebrows, the flow of air, the mouth and the throat. And bring your attention down into the neck. We often hunch our shoulders up when we're afraid of something or when we're feeling anxious. So check and see what's going on in your shoulders and in your neck right now. There's the sides of the neck down into the shoulders, into the arms and hands. And then there's the back of the neck and the top of the shoulders, the large muscles of the upper back. This area is very often activated when there's any kind of fear or anxiety. And that's good. We're protecting ourselves physically, energetically. And check in again with yourself. And if you don't need to protect yourself in this moment right now, then allow that to relax. Let your shoulders come down away from your ears. Let all of those muscles of the upper back soften and relax. Notice if you're breathing in deeply and diaphragmatically, that right at the edge, at the bottom edge of that large group of muscles of the back, we can feel the rib cage. As we're breathing in, the lower ribs open a bit. Or a lot, depending on how deeply we're breathing. And with that movement, our body moves outward into the space around and behind us. And then as we breathe out, we settle back into a smaller space. Anchor your attention to that rhythm and the feel of the breath moving. And to that noticing of the breath. And notice that this space is having movement and sensation in it. There's a particular location. It's right behind our body. Might be on the inside of our body at the back. Might go a little bit into the space. And notice there's space all around that. Whatever it is that's going on in the upper back and the mid back. And our experience of that certainly changes moment to moment, day to day. Notice the energy of it, notice the location. What is it that we're protecting ourselves from? If there's any kind of protective energy or contraction through the back of your body, just sit with that question for a moment. What am I protecting myself from? Sometimes thoughts, words will come up. If that's the case, do some simple tapping just on your forehead, the center of the forehead, right where your eyebrows are meeting. Above that, just tapping gently on the forehead. If other pictures or words are coming up, notice them in your mind's eye. Tap on the forehead and begin to notice more of the sensation and the sound, the feel of the tapping. As the picture dissolves, let your tapping stop. Bring your attention back into that energy in the back of the body. There might be an image of the energy. There might not be any energy. There might be numbness. There might be an emptiness. There might be just a regular feel to it. Notice what your sensations are at the back of your body for another minute or two. Keep in touch with your breath so that you're staying grounded through your body. You still feel the connection of your body with the earth. How solid and reliable that is. What am I protecting myself from? It might be a ghost image where it just flashes in and then it's gone. There might be all kinds of memories coming up. It doesn't really matter what the experience is. We're just attending to it. We're just watching. And we're staying in touch with our breath. Any words come up, put them into a visual form. See them in your mind's eye and then tap. Tap on your forehead. Pay attention to the feeling of the tapping now. Allow the picture to be there. Allow it to dissolve if it dissolves. And then allow your muscles to really soften. Let your shoulders move away from your ears. Notice the breath. If you can breathe quite deeply, there's a fair bit of movement in the lower rib cage. Notice the sides of your rib cage, the front of the rib cage. Notice the muscles that cover the rib cage, how the rib cage covers and protects our heart and lungs. And bring your attention back up to your forehead and eyes. The flow of breath in the nose. The release of any tension in the mouth and the jaw. Coming down through the chest into the stomach area as well. Reconnect with the breath. And notice if there's any sensation or energy in the chest area, the heart center. It could be up into the throat, down into the stomach area. Keep your attention anchored to your body and to your breath. Notice the energy in your stomach area. Often that's where we feel fear. We have it in the mind as thoughts and anxiety. And in the body, we often have it in the stomach area somewhere. So without making yourself right or wrong, no matter what it is that's happening, no matter what your response is to what's happening, we're just looking. There's no right or wrong way. Notice the energy in your stomach and your belly. Notice if there's anything that feels like it needs attending to. As much as possible, let the thoughts be silent, or at least not in the front of your attention. We're really paying attention right now to the energy and the sensation in the stomach area. Notice your breath. And see if you can allow your breath to slow so that you're exhaling at least 6 seconds. So we start by noticing the continuity of the breath and the evenness of the breath as we've been doing. And then let your exhalation move and lengthen so that it becomes up to 6 seconds long or even a bit longer. Keep your inhale about the same length as it was and let the exhalation extend out. And as you're exhaling, the body naturally softens and relaxes. So with no effort at all in the breath, focus on this longer exhalation. You could sing or chant. You could count to 6. Allow the whole process to be effortless so you're not gasping for breath. Deep, full inhalations, and then really let yourself relax on the exhale. And notice your thoughts. Allow your thoughts to be more in the background. Notice your breath and your whole body, head to toes. Relax your legs as well as your arms. There's nothing that we need to do right now. No actions that need to be taken in the world. Notice the palms of your hands, soles of your feet. Notice your breath. And set your intention to keep this as an anchor as you move through the day, especially if you're starting to feel anxiety or fear coming in. Our parasympathetic nervous system, the area below the diaphragm, can go into kind of a freeze. So some kind of movement helps to break that. Rubbing our hands together, feeling the warmth of our palms, feeling your feet on the ground, connecting with that stability of our body and of the earth, that can help. Connecting with the effortless, smooth breath is very grounding. So part of what we're doing is giving the mind something to do other than just be so absorbed in thoughts that might be coming in. And we might as well give it something to do that will help to relax the body and to remind ourselves that we're safe. Keep coming back to this looking and to the relaxing through the day. Particularly when we notice that there's fear or anxiety coming in the body or in the mind. Breath and grounding through the body are very helpful. And then when you're ready, open your eyes.